We're talking Boardwalk Empire, jazz, Pittsburgh, haircuts, and more on this edition of Conversations on Black Hollywood Live.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live. Conversations.
Hello, folks. I forgot that we should pick the song to play the open. I forgot about that.
That was good.
Dang it, folks. But hi, how are you guys out there? Welcome to Conversations here on Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. You can follow me on everything in the universe at James Lott Jr. Try it. And today, I'm so excited. We've already started talking already. We're already BFFs already off screen.
Totes.
So, exactly. And so now, she's an actress. She's a singer, so she's like a double threat. Double. Two threats. You may have seen her on Boardwalk Empire, which was a critically acclaimed show on HBO. She's also you're going to be seen on Barbershop 3, right?
I'm going to be seen on Barbershop 3.
That was great.
Yes, and some Senegalese twists.
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Oh, really cute, I'm
very,
sure.
Very poetic justice.
Oh, hey, go on, girl. Okay. And a little ode to Janet Jackson.
Janet.
It's like Janet.
Miss J.
Miss J, if you're nasty.
If you're nasty.
I am. And of course, she's actually currently being seen, and my mother watches the show, and was like, I know who she is, on ABC's hit new drama, The Family. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a conversation with Margot Bingham.
Yay!
How are you, girl?
Hi, so good to be here.
Same here. My mother's like, I know her. So here's your
Ah, well, thank you.
The large studio audience in here had to have their 2 cents.
Calm down. Okay,
buddy.
sit down.
Okay, calm down. Oh, I like that.
They really listened.
They did. So, okay, first of all, we got to start with, we have Pittsburgh connection.
I mean, let's just go.
I want some Permenti Brothers. I want a sandwich with, like, my chips inside of it.
People don't understand when there's not any fries on a sandwich. It's not a sandwich, guys.
I know.
It just doesn't substitute for a sandwich. If there's no French fries on the sandwich, it's not a sandwich.
I agree.
And then with an egg, it's just not a sandwich.
I know.
Just people.
And whenever I mention I go to the strip district,
yes,
they think you're
Do
going
they think it's
where?
like you're stripping?
Yeah, like you're going where? I'm like, no, that's not what it's called. That was
right.
for.
You're not
Hello?
working the corners. No. You were just
not
going.
Anymore.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone.
I was 18 to eat the money.
Pittsburgh.
All right, let me drink some tea really quick.
I mean, Pittsburgh. Times were hard.
Yes, but I mean, we have this picture. So you were born in Pittsburgh and raised and went to school in Pittsburgh, performing arts, everything.
Yes, I went to Kappa. It was a creative and performing arts high school. It still is.
Yeah.
Downtown Pittsburgh. Originally was in Homewood,
yeah.
so we were in the hood.
Yep.
And now we're next to a strip club. So we definitely moved up in the world. I just turned tricks there for extra cash on the side through high school.
It helped
me
you
through
for
college.
your acting later. Yeah.
Helped me later. Made me really get into characters. And I still work very much with the school, and I work a lot with the kids, and I mentor a lot of the kids there. And Melissa Perlman, who is the amazing principal there now.
Hi, Melissa.
Shout out to Melissa Perlman.
Yes.
She's incredible. The teachers are still amazing. A lot of my instructors are still there, I still very much keep in touch with them. And my acting coach that I work with consistently through all of my projects now. He was based out of Kappa and still in Pittsburgh. And I'm very much homegrown. So.
Well, you know that people don't realize that there's a lot of filming going on in Pittsburgh right now.
Huge.
A lot of filming.
I mean, that whole city is being really spun around.
Right. And it's funny because Pittsburgh looks like, we talked about this a little bit off camera.
Yeah.
It can look like a regular downtown somewhere.
Right.
Great skyline. Those 3 rivers. All the bridges.
Gorgeous.
Oh, my God.
Perks of being a wallflower.
Oh, yes. Exactly. Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
They really captured it, actually.
Gorgeous.
Then you go to the other flip side of that, and you go to Silence of the Lambs, and they captured that part of Pittsburgh, too.
Yep.
While the woods part.
You got like a little bit of a... Yeah. You got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, no, but seriously, Pittsburgh can transform, I see, to a lot of different things.
Absolutely.
And I know I just read today that Netflix is on film a series in Pittsburgh and looking for actors.
I mean, I have a girlfriend of mine that's also, her show got canceled somewhere else, and they had to change the location because of taxes or money or whatever, and now they're filming in Pittsburgh. Everybody's going to Pittsburgh. It is an unbelievable city, and I love that the arts are going there because that means more culture going to the city, because we don't lack culture, we just lack diversity there. Yes. That is a major, major problem, and hopefully that will change the transportation and change a lot of the integration of the city. Yeah. Because I hate to say it, but it's extremely segregated right now.
It is. And the only place I see everybody come together is at the Rivers Casino.
Yeah.
when they built that,
Really
it was
classy.
Like, really classy.
Really classy
I
joint.
see all races at the Brewers
Really
Casino.
classy joint. Definitely. Let's hope that it's other places that will start.
Yes, I agree. No, so what did you take away going to a performing arts high school? What did you take away when you got out of there? What did you get?
I mean, without that high school and without that kind of training, I couldn't be easily where I am now. I was completely I had major stage fright when I was a freshman. I had major vocal surgery when I was 13, 14 years old, and I was mute for about a year. I had polyps on my vocal cords.
Okay, let's stop for a second there.
I mean...
How is it being mute? I mean,
it was crazy. Like it was a whole thing of my life. Like I had major vocal issues. I had 2 cysts on my vocal cords, and I got them lasered off. And because my voice was always really low as a kid, and my vocal teacher was the only one that thought it was weird as like a 10-year-old singing Toni Braxton songs. Everybody else was like, oh my God, her voice is like, whoa. It's just like, breathe again, breathe again. You know, like, and that was like, and that seemed cool that like I could do that, but it was weird that I was singing in the baritone chorus, part of the chorus at such a young age. My vocal coach thought that I should go in and get checked, and sure enough, I had polyps in my vocal cords. I got them lasered off, and with that, the doctor told me that it would take a while to kind of come back out of it, and I wouldn't be able to speak for a while, and then I would have to eventually go back into singing slowly, but they weren't so sure if I would be able to have the same kind of voice as I did, or if I would even have a voice at all, or like, have any kind of singing presence. So I was mute for about 9 months. I had like flashcards and...
But how did it work on, I mean, you were a teenager, a kid, but how did it work on your psyche though?
It was really strange. It was interesting to see like people play, and like I couldn't, like my friends play in like the playground, and I couldn't scream and laugh, and the little things, my brother took full advantage of it, and he poked fun at me as much as he possibly could, because he was like, oh, what, you want to say something? Oh, you want to say? Oh, you want to say? Oh, but you can't, So it was, needless to say, I definitely didn't get scarred by that.
She's fine, folks. She's fine.
She's fine.
She's okay.
I'm totally fine. But so yeah, he took full advantage, and but I love him, and it was just really scary. But after that, I got up on stage, and the first time that I got up on stage, I'll never forget it. I was singing. It was a vocal recital, and it was to sing in my own little corner, Cinderella.
Okay, yeah.
And I got up, and I had like a really pretty dress on, a really pretty like wet dress. And I felt so confident, like ready to go. Okay. And then I got up there and opened my mouth, and nothing came out. And after that point, I was just like totally beside myself. Yeah, sure. And I locked myself in the bathroom for like 3 hours. I waited till everybody from the recital left. And my mom was like, Margot, everybody's gone. You can come out. Yeah. Like, you need to get out of that bathroom. Yes. And when I exited the bathroom, I came out like another person, and I just like was never able to get back on stage. Wow. So I went through like a hypnotist. I went through therapy. God. Like it was like
this is like the real story.
No, this is like a real story. Like I've never actually like talked about this on air before. I have like nothing to hide about it, but like nobody's ever asked me.
That's what I do. I ask the question.
But that's what you do. That's why BHL exclusive. So it really took me years. So really, if it wasn't for my private training and my private voice coaching and working with teachers one-on-one, which is something that was since I've graduated there, it's been taken away from students because of lack of funding for the school, and it's really a shame because of lack of funding in education, period. And that's a major thing that needs to be prioritized and really thought about and put back into the system. But if it wasn't for that kind of training, I would not be able to do the things that I'm now and be at the place and level that I am now. So it's a shame to see that taken away from the students.
I tell people all the time, art is just as important as politics, as law, as health. It actually affects all of those things.
It affects everything, but the most importantly, education affects every single thing. And that's where it stems from. And if you can't, like, if a kid feels like they can't connect to something, do you really think that they're going to in a mass group?
Right.
Without getting like a one-on-one, especially in the arts where like what we do for a living is expose ourselves and it's like, hey, look at me. I'm going to put everything out there for the world to criticize, in the world to feel something toward. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting my feelings out there to be exposed. And do you think a kid is going to do that without feeling like they can, or feeling supportive, or knowing how to even start? No. If they're not that kind of kid anyways. And I wasn't that kind of kid. So, I mean, I owe everything to private coaching and my lessons, but unfortunately those kids aren't getting that right now. So
did you also feel on some level, though, that it was kind of your calling, that you were singing, especially singing? I
definitely, I was built like an athlete. I still am very muscular and very tall. And I thought and kind of knew when I was skipping down the basketball courts that I was not built for basketball. And I think that my parents kind of got it too. I think that they knew. And I just never stopped singing. I went to dance classes all the time. I went to acting classes as much as I could. So my parents always knew that like the arts was where I was going to be.
And for you especially too, you knew that the arts was where you're supposed to be.
For sure. My parents were never the type, and they still very much so aren't the types to push me into something that I don't want to be in. And obviously being an adult now, they can't, they just support me. But but being a kid, I never went to a class unless I really wanted to go.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But it wasn't like the sweetie, what do you want? Which is just awful.
Yes.
If you're that kind of parent, please stop.
Tell him.
Your 3-year-old does not know what she or he wants. Decide.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah. Exactly. You tell them, girl. All. Exactly.
That's my parenting 101.
I'll tell you this. My people who know out there know I'm actually a father and grandfather.
Ooh.
I know it's hard to even believe that. I know
it is.
And I have a granddaughter who's 11.
Wow.
Who I'm like, you should be doing. She's like, nope, don't want to do it. She's math and science.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that's good.
She loves it.
She loves it. You can get it from me.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm like math and science.
I get it. I don't get it, but I get it.
But my grandkids go to an arts-based program at I think it's K through 8th.
That's awesome.
It's called Leonardo da Vinci. It's a series of schools.
That's awesome.
And they learn so much.
I mean, even if they don't go into arts eventually, I think that it's really important to allow kids to exercise their imagination. I think that it's awesome to show kids that they could do anything that they want. That's like what's in their head. That's what's embedded whenever they're born. Their naivety and their love for imagination, and people not putting restrictions on them. That's a beautiful thing. When you go into your curriculum, an average curriculum, it's really hard to not say you can't do this, you can't be this. And I mean, they can't expand like that. They can't succeed like that.
Agree. So leaving Pittsburgh, and you've been gone for a while, what have you taken of Pittsburgh with you through this crazy field that we do of acting and singing?
I think that Pittsburgh has really grounded me. It's really, being from the city, I didn't grow up in a high class family, and we didn't come from a lot of money. My parents have both worked equally very hard for whatever they've accomplished, and they've instilled that in my brother and I. And I think that the people that I've grown to know and the people that I've come up from have definitely continued to instill that kind of work ethic and that determination and drive within me. So that's something that I just kind of cross into every single thing that I do.
Because this business is crazy.
It's crazy. And the people in it are crazy.
And we chose it. We chose it.
And that's yes.
So we're crazy.
Is that the craziest part? I know I'm crazy.
I'm a little crazy too.
I mean.
Yeah. I mean, because here's a question for you. Because we're going to break down your different careers and stuff that you've done. But I was against the back behind the scenes stuff. How do you stay grounded in a business that looks at your hair and looks at your skin color, looks at your gender, looks at your height, your age? I mean, how do you stay grounded? Like, do you have hobbies? Do you do things like go out in the garden, or what do you do?
I mean, I love to clean my apartment. I know that sounds crazy, but I am like completely OCD. I get that from my father. And I love to house clean. It's just like something that's really relaxing to me. I love like doing the dishes, and like I just love I love the normalcy of it. I just love that. The thing that keeps me really disconnected from all of the criticism that is constantly at my doorstep is the fact that I could just look at myself and just say, if I'm walking into this project, you are a product. If I'm walking into this, you are a product. They're not criticizing you. They're criticizing the product. So as long as I can kind of put that on,
Smart.
that's like my little safety bubble that I go into. And that allows me not to get my feelings hurt, not to get my feelings involved. And I think that that's like something that really has always saved me. But
That's
if
very
it's like a
smart.
personal thing,
Yeah.
I'm extremely sensitive. That's just like
Okay.
who I am. So if there's like a personal attack, I get really sensitive and I get really upset.
I know nowadays they're doing a lot of to-tape auditions. Where
Yeah,
they're-
self-tapes.
You self-tapes, I think that's the phrase.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you feel about that versus going into a room and auditioning?
It's hard. I like this.
Yeah.
I love this. People and people. I love that. I don't know. I feed off of people's energy. I love communicating with people. I love being friends and meeting new people. I've always been like that.
Yeah.
So it's hard when you're just on a tape. You
tape.
can't really convey how somebody is. And going into a project without having a director and being your own director, now as an actor, you're supposed to be a video editor, a director, a photographer, a lighting, a DP. Like you are you wear every single hat.
Yeah.
Like my friends know, they come over and they read sides with me, and I sit there and I prop up the computer on like a blanket that's propped by like a back table-ish kind of thing, and then I move like a little wedge that's like my slipper underneath to like kind of cock it sideways, and then I turn sideways just for the glare to hit my side cheek, and I'm like, and then I'm supposed to do the scene like that?
Yeah, right.
And keep my volume down because like the computer's right in front of me,
right.
so I'm like supposed to lower the...
Yeah.
I mean, it is a thing. Nobody teaches you that in
They
school
don't,
because
they
they
don't.
shouldn't have to.
Shouldn't have to.
It's crazy.
Well,
So,
you came up at a time now where, actually you are an entrepreneur, so to speak.
Yes,
Every actor and actress is an entrepreneur at this point.
absolutely.
Do you have to promote yourself also? And how many Instagram followers do you have? And all this stuff that's going on
It's
out
just
there.
a thing. I mean, we were talking about Snapchat earlier. I can't even say it because I don't even freaking know. But I've lost count. I don't know. I try my best. The only thing that I can say is I do my best. I do the best that I can. I am the only person that runs all of that.
Yeah.
And in the middle of trying to talk to all of my fans that I'm so thankful
She's
to
thankful.
have.
She's thankful.
I am thankful because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to have the followers. I wouldn't be able to have the numbers. And the numbers are what keeps me relevant and what gets me in rooms. So it's like without my numbers, I can't get into rooms, but I try to be as present as I possibly can to my fan base. And then within all of that, I still have my meetings, my auditions, my interviews, my press with you to be able to talk to my fans. So it's like, it's a major double-edged sword that I'm trying to find the balance between the two, is being present with my fans and being present in my life as a career and like actually doing the job. And then, being present for myself.
Right.
But that comes that's myself is way down the line. Like, I don't count.
Yeah, right. It's like, whatever. I'll get there later. But you make a good point, because that is an entrepreneur.
Right.
That's what entrepreneurs do. They have to run their business and their marketing and their lives and their personal
Definitely.
lives. I mean, it doesn't stop.
Right. And like when I'm in Ubers, I'll get the occasional Uber driver that's like, "Oh, what do you do?"
Yes,
and I'm
exactly.
like, "I'm a musician." Because I know what will shut them up
Yes,
really quickly.
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, are you a singer or something?" And I was like, "Nope, I play the trombone."
You say, it's so funny.
And they're like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yep." And then the conversation stops.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. And I'm like, great, I don't have to explain anything else
exactly.
because
We're
you
all
don't know
doing.
anything about trombone
Right.
and I don't either. So this is going to be
You
great.
sound like me, because when I do Uber sometimes, and they're like, if I say I'm in television or radio.
Forget it. They're like, oh my God, I remember when he picked Kelly Ripa.
Yes,
This and that. I'm like,
and who's the most famous person you've interviewed and who
Right.
you talked to? And oh my
Right.
God. I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, this is the last thing I want to do right now.
Yes.
So I am a trombonist.
Okay, I like that.
I play jazz. Very classical jazz. Not even cool jazz, classical jazz.
Classical jazz.
Classical
Oh,
jazz, because
okay.
they don't even know that. So it's very, very fun.
Now, here's the thing. So you left Pittsburgh and went to New York.
Yes.
So how was that? 'Cause you did some stage stuff there, but how was, like, you did Rent, I think, and some
I
few
did.
things. So how was New York for you? That's a big city.
I still live there, so
Okay.
I love the city. I've been there for 10 years now, and which is crazy. And I moved to New York. Not having any friends there, I didn't have any kind of contacts. I had like a friend of my father's that was there that said that he would look out for me every once in a while.
Okay.
But as far as like real contacts in the industry, I didn't have that. My parents gave me 1 year to figure it out.
Okay.
And they were like, after that year, we're going to reconvene, and then you're going to go back to school for something. Because I left school, I didn't finish college, and I was really not doing very well in my schooling, and I was still performing and doing a lot of live shows and doing a lot of like tours and concerts. Yeah. So I was really burning the candle at both ends, and I needed to pick.
Okay.
And I spoke to a mentor of mine who was my teacher and my vocal teacher at Point Park University, where I went to school. Okay. And she was like, people are studying to do this. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. And she's like, you are doing this.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like, okay. And she's like, you need to leave and do this. You don't get many chances at doing this.
That's
and
true.
I was like, you're right. Yeah. So literally the next semester I just didn't sign up, and I didn't tell anybody I was leaving, and I just left. And I moved to New York, and I had 1 year to get it done. Okay. 6 months of that was probably just doing takeout.
Okay.
And not leaving my apartment much because I was scared. And by the 7th month, I started looking at newspaper articles and online and inquiries, auditions, and Rent was one of those auditions that I went in for. It was an open call. I tried my luck. I was 719, number 719. Oh my God. And I waited from 6 a.m. to the 10 a.m. opening point, and I went through 4 typecasts. Okay. Which basically, for everybody that doesn't know what that is, they basically go through the line. They go down the line and they look and they say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and then just typecast you out. And I got past all of them, and then I actually got in the room and I had my 8 seconds of my 8 bars, which is insane. That is crazy. Which is literally like 3 seconds to sing. It's like and then they're like, and that's it, and they're like, nailed it, no, got it, no. So they sent me through that, and then I came back an hour later and I had my 16 bars. Wow. Okay. Moved up to 16. Okay. And then came back and got to sing the first verse and chorus in front of the producers, and I had 13 auditions for Rent, and oh my God, 13. And I got it. Oh my God. Isn't that nuts? That's crazy, but it just goes to show you could be number 719. 719. I still have the sticker. Good for you. Still kept it. It's a great lesson to anybody that it doesn't matter where you are or when you come into it, that still things can happen. Absolutely. And I mean, you just have to trust in yourself that you have the work, you have what it takes. And as far as what it takes, I mean, not necessarily the talent or the people behind you or the contacts, it's the determination is to have what it takes. And I did have that. I had the drive because I had 3 months left. I had 4 months left. Wow. You know, I had to figure it out. Wow. And that was me figuring it out. Yeah. I didn't have anybody else to lean on. You know, I was in the middle of the city at 20 years old. So I had to figure it out. That's amazing. Yeah. And I mean, I worked like 6 jobs to get to that point. Yeah. You know, true Jamaican. Yes. And worked 6 jobs, saved up so that I could have that wiggle room of a year, that I could really not lose myself in waitressing and bartending and really just focus on the arts any way that I could. I come from a Caribbean background too, and there's something to be said about that. There is something to be said. Seriously, we do work really hard. I'm dead ass. I mean, it is a true. My family comes from West Indies, so totally. I work a lot of jobs and I've done a lot of things. Figure it out. Yeah, gotta figure it out. Gotta be an adult and just figure it out. No time to whine. No, you gotta grow up. Yeah. Gotta grow up. Every time that I go back and talk to Kappa and all the kids, they're like, well, I'm going to move to New York. And I was like, and how are you going to do that? Yeah. They're like, well, I'm going to, use some of my parents' money. And I was like, really? And you think that's going to, well, I'm going to waitress. And then how are you going to audition? Right. It's like, well, I'll figure it out. I was like, really? You're going to start getting like 3 jobs in the first week just to be able to eat. Live. Yeah, just to live. Yeah. Just to live. Yeah. And then where does the reason why you move there come in? That's what people don't get. Because the problem is also we get hooked into we have these 3 jobs. Right. And then you're like, I'll get to it later. Right. I'll get to it later. Right. And then all of a sudden your creativity goes out the window. And then it's 5 years later. Yeah. Happens so fast. And it's like, and where am I? How did I get here? Right. And you don't know where to get out and how to start again. That's true. So it's just, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do life. No. You just have to trust in the fact and trust your gut that you'll get there. Yeah. How did Boardwalk Empire come to your life? So Rent closed, And I went in, I was unemployed for about 9 months. I was getting like a little scared.
Yeah, which happens.
And which definitely happens. And I got the call to go in for like this jazz role that was going to be like a date player, and I was like, oh yeah, I can sing jazz. I guess I could do this. And I went in and saw a bunch of my girlfriends because like, you know, we're all brown and on Broadway. And I was like, oh hey girl.
But that's true. That's true.
It's true.
You do see your friends.
Absolutely, and it's weird.
I'm sure it is.
And it's awkward because it's like, oh, I want you to get it, and it's like, shit, I gotta get it. I have to eat next week. You know. So that was like a weird thing, and then I kept going in for auditions for that, and I think I had about 8 callbacks for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I always get like a lot of things with a lot of callbacks, like lots of them. I was like, come on.
We want to make sure.
Please, like this is hard. And it was, and I was living in Harlem at the time, and I was like schlepping back and forth between like there and Brooklyn, and it was like through the winter, and I was
like,
folks
don't realize Brooklyn's on the other side over here.
It's on the other side. I had to go
past
through from the west side to the east side to Queens to Brooklyn.
Wow.
Like it was a big trip just to do an audition to go in for, you know, but that's what you got to do. Mm-hmm. And I needed the job, and I really wanted the job. And then they actually gave me a song that I later in the season sang, St. Louis Blues, and it was full circle when I sang that, because I was like, oh man, this was my audition song. This is crazy. And it was about like 6 episodes in.
Oh wow.
At that point, yeah. It just kind of it became a season that was not expected by anybody. Yeah. And including myself. And I think that was the best thing that could have happened, because I think I would have just freaked myself out if I would have known the extreme player and part that I was going to be in the whole project. I definitely would have gone into it and put it up on this pedestal and screwed myself over, because I just like wanted to get it so bad. But because it was just like a little part, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And I went in with like ease and a comfort that I definitely I wouldn't have had if I.
Well, you know, it was a hit show, so it became a hit show, and it was quickly acclaimed, and it was a hit. So how was that? I mean, being on a hit show. I mean, I
knew that it was a hit anyways. My brother was a huge fan of Boardwalk Empire for so long, and then he found out that I was getting the audition, and then he threatened that I couldn't come back home. I'm like really painting my brother in the best of ways.
I know. She loves you.
I love you, CJ. So, but he was basically, and he was dead serious. He was like, you can't come back home if you don't get this part. Do you understand?
You're like,
and I was like, I get it, but I know you're joking. He's like, no, actually, I'm not joking.
Like,
you have to get this HBO. Like, you don't understand. I will disown you. And I was like, okay, well, this is what's happening then. I guess I'm gonna get this job. Like, I have to. I got it. So Jeffrey Wright was amazing to work with.
Oh, I'm sure I was gonna ask you how. I mean,
I am so thankful that
theater
I had
legend, film at recent seasons.
I mean, Basquiat.
Yes,
like,
I know.
Peebles.
Angels in America. Yes,
come get me, man. I can't even do it. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. That was like probably like an insult, but
we're praising
I just like love him. I was terrified to meet him.
Wow.
Like terrified. And he was the sweetest, and still is the sweetest guy.
Wow, good.
Just so nice. I had a show I had my own personal concert in the first month that I was working there. Like, it was like the 2 months that I was working there, and he showed up. Him and Jack Houston showed up.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Michael showed up. Like, I mean, like, just the most supportive people and nicest people. And Michael's still a very dear friend of mine. And just like, I just got super lucky. I think I just did.
A little lightning in a bottle.
I mean, it really was.
Yeah,
truly.
Definitely. And then, so now, before we get to the family, you're going to be in Barbershop 3, the final cuts.
I am.
So, I mean, I love Barbershop movies. They're hilarious. Of course, I grew up that way, going to Barbershop, Black Barbershops,
of course.
And like that. So, I mean, how did you get involved in that project? How did that come to you?
That was through my agents, and I remember getting the call about it, and I obviously know the project. I grew up on Barbershop the movie. Like, I mean, like, who didn't?
Right.
And to even get the call for that, I was like, this is insane. Yeah. Like, this is not real.
You're like, no, you're
I was
joking.
like, no. I was like, in comedy, and I was like, I'm not that.
How funny is
funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I was like really terrified.
Yeah.
And I was actually doing like a really serious movie at the time, which will be coming out in June.
Which one's that one?
Destined.
Okay, Destined. Okay.
And we'll be hitting the LA Film Festival this June, which is very exciting. And and it was a really intense script. So like to see this come across my plate, I was like, man, this is. I don't know about this one. And it was a Skype session with Malcolm D. Lee, who's the director.
Yeah.
And I remember Skyping with him. He was very cool. Everything was very normal. And I read with the reader. And it was weird because you're talking to Malcolm and you see him on Skype. And then the reader's over there, but I can't look at the reader because my eye line, because they're taping it.
Oh, okay.
So if they replay it, it's gonna look like I'm like looking down. So I had to like look off and change the volume, and then if I put down the volume again, it was the computer volume thing, which is annoying. Yeah, so I turned down the volume, but because I turned down the volume, I couldn't hear the reader on the other side, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane.
This is crazy.
I was like, and nobody knows my struggle right now.
But
the struggle was real. The struggle was real.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I got that movie, but I'm very thankful. Let's just leave it at that.
And who are you playing?
Very thankful. I play Bree. She's a very overly opinionated feminist.
Oh, we don't know those at all.
I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea about that life.
Yes.
And
I heard you have interesting hair too.
I mean, the hair was. So Malcolm was great about letting us pick whatever look, style. I mean, obviously we had the idea of the characters because it was the amazing writing led that for us, and the breakdowns and everything. So we knew the direction where we were leaning toward, but the hair, because it is a hair movie.
Yes, it is.
He left that to us, which was really cool and very exciting.
Cool. Yeah.
And you don't realize, like the idea of me on Boardwalk, Terry Winters really allowed me to create Daughter the way that I wanted to, which is huge to be able to create the character.
Yes.
Jenna Bans allowed me to create my own character on The Family as Nina Meyer. So like people have allowed me to morph these characters, but I've never known the extreme pleasure that it is to be able to pick your hair and let that embody your character. Yeah. And Malcolm really knew that meant embodying the character to us. That was free reign for us. So really when he gave that over to us, that was huge. Yeah. And I picked the twist because the braids, I just didn't feel. I just felt like it was a little bit overdone, and she wouldn't do that. Okay. She wouldn't do the overdone thing. Yeah. The weave, she wouldn't do that. Right. That's something a little bit more materialistic for her liking. Yeah. The naturalistic thing I wanted to do, but I wanted to make her a character because honestly, I was terrified of doing comedy. So if I stayed looking like myself, I felt like I would have more scrutiny and more and probably criticize myself a little bit more. Yeah. So I feel like I wouldn't be able to really be her. Yeah. So I allowed myself to embody a character. So I picked the twist, but I didn't know how, what went into that, because that was a whole thing. I'm sure. First of all, the prep and the putting in the twist, but then, sleeping with them.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
You have to, I was like, okay, this is new. And then, so my twist had a pillow, and then my head had a pillow. Oh, that's so funny. And then going to this is getting personal, I'm sorry. Please tell. It's TMI. But going to the bathroom, they were super long. And I was like, oh, damn, this is so I have to be able to, so that things don't happen.
We dip it in the toilet.
that, God forbid. And then, doing yoga or doing any kind of working out, any kind of downward facing dog, forget it. I'd knock myself out.
Yeah, sure.
And then being on the treadmill.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
You just
Well, how do folks do it?
I don't know. I was like, there was a beautiful seamstress that was working on set in the costume department. She was amazing, and she had these beautiful dreads, and they were as long as my twists. And I was like, girl, how do you do this? And she's like, okay, it's a thing. And I was like, can you please tell me? Because you have shells and beads and stuff in you. You need to be knocking yourself out. How I don't even have that. And this is so when I cut those off, as a goodbye thing, everybody was able to cut a twist off of my hair. I walked around with scissors and let them all cut, and then cut my own hair after that. Because I'm a real barber now.
Okay, go on, girl. Okay.
Come to me for guts.
I need a haircut too, girl.
I'll line you up real good.
Sign me up.
So,
Sign me up.
I mean, I will do it, girl. I know how to sew in and everything after that
Okay.
movie, just saying.
Okay.
So excited.
So I cut that all off, but then I felt like I lost like 15 pounds.
Oh, I'm
from
sure,
that.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh my God, I feel my neck again. I was like standing taller and I was like walking around like super. I felt great after it. But I mean, it was definitely an experience. I don't know if I would ever do that full time.
Yeah.
But I give major props to the dreads and twists
Yes.
of the world. Major props, because that is, you have another human on your head.
Now, I was going to ask you, being an actress of color,
Yes.
was it freeing to be able to pick? Because, nowadays everything's like, just weave, hair, just make it like. You were
Right.
able to actually pick a hairstyle as part of our culture to be on screen.
Well, it was definitely freeing, but I actually think that it was more freeing in the family on ABC.
Okay.
Because nobody's ever hired me for my hair.
Ooh, interesting.
So my
Okay.
hair is straightened right now.
Okay.
It's straightened for the premiere because I'm going to do some crazy things.
Ooh.
For the premiere,
I'm excited.
not telling you.
Follow her on Twitter. You'll
Follow
see
me
it.
on Twitter
I'll follow you.
and Instas and Snaps and everything.
Totes adorbs.
Totes adorbs.
That's right.
But the family booked me on the show as myself, and it was super liberating because
Interesting.
I thought about it and I was like, man, every single thing that I've gone in, they've asked for my hair straightened. The red carpets, they're like, you should really straighten your hair. And I'm like, why? Because that's just more acceptable in the community.
Right.
I was like, nobody can accept me with curly hair.
Right.
And a major network like ABC did. And I just felt like, and I was like, first of all, to be a lead on a network like ABC
Yes.
and a major like that,
Yeah.
and be of color
Yeah.
and be able to do my own natural hair and be curly and be accepted and still sexy and accepted in middle America like that, whether people want to or not.
Right.
I am,
Right.
and I'm on their TV, so they have to watch. Like, that's exciting. That's change.
I interviewed Miko Branch.
Yes.
With Jesse's.
Yes.
And we talked about the curly hair. It was like, curly hair is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I mean, I know it takes some work.
It's
Takes some work.
a thing.
But it's beautiful. And
It
you
is
don't see it
gorgeous.
enough on TV. You're
No,
right.
you don't, because I always was taught, like, the breakdown. Like, if I went into commercials,
Okay.
it was the curly hair.
Okay.
If I went into movies, it was the straight hair.
Okay.
If I went into TV, depends.
Okay.
Pull it back. That was like what
okay.
my agents have always told
Okay,
me.
okay.
And growing up, and like people that I met in casting calls or like meetings or generals with anybody, that was the thing. You know, like, you weren't accepted if you had curly hair. Like, you can't do that for film. Nobody will book you. And lo and behold, like, I tried that on a couple films and I never really got it. Now, who's to say that that's the reason why I didn't get it? If my talents weren't the reason why I didn't
Right.
get it, I'm not that naive to think that, like, I was God Almighty talent, that was the reason. My hair was the reason why I didn't get it. Like, they was too ethnic. They didn't want the ethnic. That's some bull. I think
Right.
that's bull. But
Yeah.
I do think that has there's something to be said about the change that people are now looking for new things, and
Yeah.
they're accepting things that they weren't before. So I think
Yeah.
that's really exciting.
Now, you play Nina Myers, right?
Yeah, Nina Meyer.
And you are a detective, sergeant?
detective.
Detective, a kind of
Yes.
show. So what is your role? If people haven't seen the show yet, what is my mother loves it, so it's this big, it's hit. on
Well,
ABC.
thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Her
Thanks, Mom.
name is Bonita.
Bonita.
That's right.
Muy bonita,
That's right.
bonita.
She is, too. She
Wow,
is.
that's lovely.
And that's my grandmother said she saw her when she was born, and that was it.
Oh my goodness,
Isn't that funny?
That's beautiful.
I know, it's kind of a crazy
Wow.
thing.
Hey, Mom.
I'm Caribbeans.
Yes, gorgeous. So
yes.
the premise of the show is based around a kid that goes missing in a murder and kidnapping case 10 years ago, and then shows up 10 years later in the town where he is, and his mother is the mayor of the town,
Joan Allen.
Joan Allen.
Oh, the bomb.
And so it's like politician.
Yeah.
You know, you have a little bit of politics, and then you have the greed and the secrets and the lies, and everybody in town is lying. Everybody has a lie. I mean, and if you are watching
Does
the
Nina
show,
have a lie too?
everybody has a lie.
Oh, line up and through there.
Everybody has a lie. There's a lie. There's a lie. Everybody has a lie. So everybody's lying about something. And the crime that you think people commit, they might not be committing that crime,
Okay.
but everybody is guilty of something in that show. So it is definitely a twister.
Wow.
I come onto the case 10 years ago, obviously on this new fresh case as a fresh cop. Straight out of school,
Okay.
and I'm kind of like the newbie in town, and I get this case, and this makes my life. this turns me into a detective. So when the kid comes back, everything is questioned and kind of put on the line.
I'm sure.
Publicly and personally, I'm dealing with things because obviously the public is scrutinizing me now and why did you make that mistake? You put the wrong guy away for this murder and kidnapping and this crime that he did not commit.
Okay.
And personally, I have kind of had this chip on my shoulder as being this perfect detective, this badass in town that nobody can touch because I'm awesome.
Yes.
And I have, I'm not exactly the nicest and most liked in our precinct. It happens.
Yeah.
And but now that this is kind of shown up on my doorstep, I am really humiliated, and so it's my job. I make it my mission to find out who this kid is and why he showed up now and where he came from and who really took him, and the guy's really still out there, so I'm really trying to find him. It's my mission to do it.
Joan Allen is, finish the sentence, Joan Allen is...
Unreal.
I'm sure. She's such a great actress.
Ridiculous.
That's
a freak of nature. A monster.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A robot.
Yeah.
Not real.
Yeah.
Going back to unreal.
Yeah.
Starting again, full circle.
I love
She's
that.
I got to see Room.
Did
you see Room?
I saw Room. Oh my God.
My goodness.
Yeah. Everybody's so just good at that, but anyway.
I mean, that kid, I just can't.
Jacob Tremblay was just amazing.
I can't. I mean, freak. Talk about a freak.
He should have won the Oscar. I'm sorry. I think he should have.
I mean, that's another conversation. We'll take off here.
Yeah.
But so after I saw that, I walked in and Joan is getting her makeup done, and I walk into the makeup room and I was like, Joan. First of all, the fact that I can even do that on my job is pretty
amazing.
Can I just say that I just walked in and was like, Joan. And no big deal. I was kind of freaking out that I could do that, and I was like, this is very cool. Yeah. So I walked in anyways and said, Joan, what the heck? And she's like, what, Margot? What? And I'm like, Room? And she's like, oh, you liked it? And I was like, I hate you.
You're right.
You are ridiculous. You are unbelievably talented. Yeah. And I was like, if you do one more thing about a kid being kidnapped, though, I think that you have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, something going on there.
You could talk to me privately about that if you need to, because maybe something's happening. But, but she's phenomenal. And everything that she does, every single scene, when the world is, so I live tweet with the show, which is a new thing for me. I've never done that before.
It's fun. It's pretty fun.
It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
It's definitely overwhelming. I love to talk to my fans, and it's very exciting to see what people are what they catch on to in live time. And if there's a line and it pops out and they tweet that line, they're like, oh my God. That's very exciting to see it, because you get to see how they are the first time. Yeah. But I've never seen these episodes.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm watching this.
Oh, with them.
In real time at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and really I don't get to watch it very much because I'm trying to live tweet with my fans, and I'm constantly in the phone. Yeah. And I know that that's annoying for the people that watch it with me.
Name should not be nameless.
Name should not be named.
Or something nameless. Yeah.
The name should not be named. And I know that the people that watch the show with me weekly know that I probably don't look up from my phone at all for about an hour and 12 minutes, because it takes me about 12 minutes after to really wrap it up.
Yeah.
And but it's great to see it for the first time, and all these scenes that I see with her and Zach Gilford and Allison Pill, Floriana Lima, all these people. Yeah. It's just beautiful to see it because they're my friends. Yeah. And then I get to see it on screen and I'm like, man, my friends are talented. Yeah. It's an unbelievable thing to see people do what they say they do and do it well. It's so gratifying. Because it's really few and far between now.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And it shouldn't be, but it's crazy.
No, it is, girl. First of all, you're lovely.
Thank you.
And you're actually really funny.
Thanks.
I don't know why you don't say you're not funny. You're funny. You're hilarious. I almost cussed a second ago. My fans, I try not to cuss.
I'm sorry. I did say
I gave you the bleep.
She almost gave you the bleep. I almost did. I said you almost said you're effing hilarious.
I have said things. I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's fine, girl. We don't care. You're pretty. You can say it.
I'm sorry. Oh.
That's fine. So tell folks where they can actually find you online if they want to talk to you.
So Twitter, you can find me on Margot B RSVP, like to a party. Don't forget the T though, because you won't get anywhere. MARGOT B RSVP. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, tweets, twats. I don't know what else there is.
On that note.
On that note.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to hug afterwards, of course. This is another edition of Conversations. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. and everything in the universe and the interwebs. We actually have more shows like this on BlackHollywoodLive.com, on the YouTube channel, on iTunes. Like us, rate this episode, and tell us how great we were. Please do it.
Shout
and I'll see you guys next time.
Shout out.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.